Good evening. Welcome to the Bedminster Township Committee, March 7th, regularly scheduled meeting of the Bedminster Township Committee. Recognize that we have full attendance of Bedminster Township Committee here in person. Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 6, 2022.
Great, thank you. Please join me standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as we start the meeting, just quickly want to go over some COVID numbers. During our last meeting, let's see, total cases, 1,030 and 6 fatalities, even though I've noticed that we had gone from 5 fatalities to 6 without any emails or indication of explanation. We are now at 1,039 cases, so that's up 9 from the previous meeting total, and at 7 fatalities. And I'll also say, once again, I didn't get any notice or email about going from 6 to 7. So once again, from prior discussions with the county health department, that could be just going back through old data and picking up a fatality that was not attributed to COVID. That's about as much as I got on that. On actual vaccinations, essentially we haven't changed. So we were all ages 85%, 12 to 17, 85%, 12 and over, 96, 18 and over, 97, 30, 96%, 30 and over, 65 and over, 120%. That's for one vax shot, for the full regimen, not counting boosters, all ages 75%. Those numbers have not changed since our last meeting, and certainly an indication that, you know, it's, we've reached the people who are going to be vaccinated, and getting that last group is just not on the cards right now. Certainly that would appear that way. Before we go to the rest of the meeting, I had a conversation today with Rob Fields, who is our liaison from the governor's office, just checking in. Rob does a great job checking in with us, see if there's anything we need, if there's anything that we, any log jams that we have down in Trenton that we would like to push forward. I told him that we do have a couple of grant applications, but actually most of our grant applications are with the county. So if any TC members are aware of any action that we'd want to push from the governor's office, please let me know and I'll give Rob a call. And also just to follow up from our last meeting, I did ask Rodney and Paul Ferrero to think about what we could do at the burial ground, and we'll develop some ideas over the next couple of weeks and hopefully present something back to the TC, and perhaps do so in coordination with the rep from the NAACP. And with that, let's go to public comments. Ms. Ray, do we have anyone who's waiting for public comment?
We do not, Mayor.
Any members of the public in attendance? Seeing none. Approval of minutes. We have 3 minutes to approve. February 14th, TC budget work session. The February 22nd Township Committee meeting, and the February 28th TC budget work session. Any comments or questions regarding those minutes? Seeing none, may we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Permits and raffles, we have 6 of them to consider tonight. First is on-premise merchandise raffle to benefit Special Olympics of New Jersey on June 20, 2022, 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club, 811 Rattlesnake Bridge Road, Bedminster. Second, off-premise merchandise raffle to benefit the Willow School on May 23, 2022, 3 p.m. at Hamilton Farms Golf Club, 1040 Pottersville Road, Bedminster. Third, an on-premise merchandise raffle to benefit Gill St. Bernard School on April 12, 2022, 1 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club, 811 Rattlesnake Bridge Road, Bedminster. Fourth, on-premise 50/50 raffle to benefit Crossroads for Hope on June 4, 2022, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Crossroads for Hope, 3 Crossroads Drive, Bedminster. Fifth, social fair permit to benefit the Willow School on May 21st, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Willow School, 1150 Pottersville Road. And the last is a social fair permit to benefit Hope Through Education on August 11, 2022, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Hamilton Farms Golf Club, 1040 Pottersville Road, Bedminster. Any questions or comments regarding those permits and raffles? Seeing none, may we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Monthly report discussion by Subcommittee Chair, Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. My only update for this week, since we have Historic Press coming up later in the month, is just to say Rodney and I finally, after several attempts, were able to do a tour of our wastewater facilities, and I don't know whether anybody else here has had the pleasure of doing that, but I would suggest that you try to get over there because it's an eye-opener. We got some work to do over there, and it's going to require some attention on our part. We got some deferred maintenance over there that really needs to get taken care of. We got some problems with the roof, it's leaking water on things that do not like water, so we've got to take care of that stuff. It's got to be a.
What's the, is all that encompassed within the grant application that was submitted to the county?
Not the roof.
Not the roof?
The roof is Bedminster owned.
Okay.
So we're going to look at, getting some folks in. Are we going to look at some repairs or just, you think, a redo of the roof?
I think at this point, based on the information I've collected, that repair will do the job.
Good.
Repair that will get a significant warranty with it also.
Super. Yeah, I mean, it's, the way I would summarize it is there's a lot of deferred maintenance that got too far deferred that we need to get on top of it. It's just, it's got to happen, so that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Just an update on the Board of Health. As mentioned previously, they introduced revisions at their last meeting to an existing ordinance, updating fees associated with septic escrows, inspections, repairs, and alterations. The proposed changes are in your binder under the Reports tab. It's 2-page long. The Township Committee has the opportunity to provide comments on the proposed changes prior to the next Board of Health meeting. There will be no March meeting, so that the next meeting will be on April 21st, at which time there will be a public hearing for the revised ordinance. So if you have any comments or questions on it, please let me know before that date so we can get those comments back to the Board of Health. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Committeewoman Mareski.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple things from the Environmental Commission. Just to let you know, the bat boxes are finally all up. So thank you to Rodney and the Rec Department and EC who all took part in that project. Hopefully some bats will find their way to their new homes. Deb Taglieri from EC found this new app called Recycle Coach. You sign up on the app, it gives you pickup schedules, dates for bulky waste, gives you lists of items and materials that can be recycled. You can sign up for alerts or reminders, all based on where you live. So you can punch in that we're in Bedminster and it gives you all that information. They were liking that because it seems like a lot of people, other than my husband, seem to lose those little stickers that you put on the calendar. My husband's really good on the first day, puts them all out, but not everybody is, so this is really helpful to have information if anybody wants it. Something to put on your calendar is the Raritan Headwater Stream Cleanup back in town, April 23rd. The registration will open on March 14th through April 11th, and the EC has volunteered again to host a site.
So in the past, we've put together a township committee, stream cleanup team. Can you put us in for that?
I will ask Miss March, who was in charge.
Great.
Yep.
River Road Park again? River Road Park, River Road Park,
Yep.
River Road Park,
Bring your mutters.
River Road Park. If it's available.
I can't do it, so, but I will
Okay.
do my best to influence our EC chair. And the last thing, just don't forget that on May 4th, the plastic carryout bags and polystyrene foam ban begins. And that is apparently on all stores over 2,500 square feet, so maybe our little guys won't be too involved with that, but.
Save that straw.
Yeah, exactly.
It's paper.
So just keep
Oh,
an
is it?
eye on that. Bring your bags. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Committeewoman Fernandez.
I just had a question about that. Does that include like stores like Target and Walmart, or is that just grocery stores?
I think it's all stores.
All stores. Okay. I was just wondering.
I think so, yeah.
Retail stores, grocery stores, and for food service businesses.
Okay.
Oh, while we're on that, we still have Bedminster bags.
We do?
Some.
Yes, some,
Oh,
not a
okay.
lot,
I
but we
have
still
heard
have
of
some.
them.
Not the
Can-
farmer's market bags,
No,
but the
no, no.
green bags.
Can we get more or no? That was it from the state, from the county?
We have to see what our funding is, we can check.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Just have a rec update for you. We're looking forward to spring this month. Outdoor basketball clinics are scheduled to begin in March. Spring break camps are for April are being advertised now for things like fishing and multi-sports camps when the kids are off from school. Adult indoor volleyball is taking place starting March 8th, which is tomorrow, right? And then that will go up through May, and then that will go right into outdoor volleyball. So that's exciting. There's some after-school enrichment planned for the spring as well. That includes cooking and model magic. Summer camp registration begins April 1st. The planner has been emailed out. The summer camp planner has been emailed out to existing rec email addresses and through the Friday folder at the school. There is an Easter egg hunt that will take place in April, but I don't have the date yet. The date hasn't been finalized, so I'll have that next time, hopefully. And just have a Fall Fest update. So Fall Fest will be held and hosted by Bedminster Township on October 22nd. Bedminster charities will decide in the coming weeks if they want to participate and do fundraising in the next few weeks. Otherwise, they'll just participate as a presence. And so the Bedminster Township will take that and definitely be hosting it October 22nd, 12 to 5. And that's all I have for my rec updates.
That's great, thank you, and that's great to hear about Fall Fest. So, once again, please, from the entire TC, big thumbs up to everyone at REC and for taking this on. It's a big task, and also to certainly Robin knows, and having Neil working on that is just good news. I'm just going to do a quick report on land use. Last week, the Land Use Board approved site plan application, excuse me, site plan application for Fiddler's Elbow for expansion of some facilities at the golf course or the country club, including tennis, paddleball, paddle tennis, pickleball, because what's a golf course without expanding your pickleball courts, some expansions associated with the food service, and they previously had an approval for 6 4-bed unit cottages. They withdrew that permit and are converting that to a lodge building. So it'll be in one lodge building. There was a fair amount of discussion about the occupancy. The owner of Fiddler's Elbow was there and talked about how it's going to be ancillary only to the activities on the golf course. So for club members, if they're having weddings, that the wedding family can stay at the lodge. But certainly from the Land Use Board and Colin and I, to make clear that it is not a hotel for just coming off the highway and getting a room. So I think that point was pushed through, and that should be built into the resolution of approval. Upcoming meetings,
Mayor, if I may, Ms. Ray, can you just indicate in the minutes that I recused myself from any Fiddler's Elbows
Absolutely.
discussions? Just, thank you. I have to put that on the record.
so noted, Attorney Bellardo. Farmers Market tomorrow, And then on Thursday, there is another land use board meeting, which will involve a variance application for P-PAC Gladstone Bank on Hills Drive. That is a D variance and will be heard by the zoning board, so Committeeman Hickey and I will not be eligible to participate on that application. And that's what I have from my subcommittee reports. Ms. Ray, may we please have the administrator's report?
Sure. Community garden, attended a community garden last week with Committeeman Hickey and Committeewoman Moreski to review the plans to determine the number of garden plots we want to put in for phase one. And I'm now conducting some research on annual water fees of surrounding gardens. Community garden grant was actually submitted to the county on February 25th. They will be announcing Somerset County Recreation Grant recipients in April. Regarding IT, the chief is here. I don't know if he wants to speak to this, but the PD's completed their installation of the new body camera system. Chief, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add for that?
Other than the fact that, yes, we finally, we took delivery back in November. They came on site the last day of January and the first 2 of February. Couple of issues to work out, but it seems to be working fine. The management back end, we're still trying to get our head wrapped around, how many man hours it's going to take to make sure that everything's retrievable and, logged accordingly. But other than that, so far so good.
Okay, great, thank you. Also with IT, I know we were going to be replacing some of the servers, but it looks like for our phone system, backup servers, but it looks like our IT manager, Vishant Saran, is looking into upgrading the overall voice over internet protocol system that we have, just doing some exploration right now. With regard to sewer utility, Rodney filled in whoever I forget. We're still waiting on our grant to find out if we are going to be receiving a grant from Somerset County American Recovery Plan Project Funding Initiative, and that is for the rehab of the Miller Lane pump station. So I'm calling and making a nuisance of myself politely.
The squeaky wheel gets greased,
I know Rodney already just spoke to this, and so did you, Committeeman Stevenson, that DPW is getting estimates for repair to the sewer plant roof, which is a top priority while we're waiting for the Somerset County grant application. And miscellaneous, I have this coming Thursday, our shared municipal court meeting is March 10th with representatives from Bedminster, Bernardsville, Berners Township, and P-PAC Gladstone here at Bedminster Town Hall. Bedminster is the lead agency, so we'll be reviewing and hopefully approving our 2022 shared municipal court budget. I'm continuing to work on the 22 municipal budget every day, and the CFO and myself will be attending tomorrow, actually, an American Rescue Plan seminar with the Department of Community Affairs, so hopefully we'll learn a little bit more after our discussion with our auditor at our last budget meeting. Renee, you already mentioned the Raritan Headwaters Association. Just so everyone knows, the township does contribute $500 from our Clean Communities grant towards that effort. Just a couple of fun facts that I thought I'd share regarding governing body meetings in Somerset County. Of the 21 municipalities, only 4 offer hybrid meetings. I thought that was pretty interesting, that only 4 can do virtual. Bedminster, Bridgewater, Warren, and Watchung. 4 remain all virtual. That's Bernardsville, Far Hills, Manville, and Bound Brook. I think Bound Brook's going to be making the switch next week.
Maybe not the land use board.
Okay. And of the remaining municipalities in Somerset County, they are all in person. So I thought that was kind of interesting that only 4 are virtual, hybrid. And then Rave Mobile Alert, we have, since our last push, we up to 313 opt-in users, so we're climbing. We have 3,637 landlines that are in the system. And again, residents can choose to receive information from various departments. I'll just give you some of the top requested departments that they've signed up for. Besides targeted weather alerts, as number 1, the Office of Emergency Management came in second. Recreation was 3rd. Public Works was 4th. And with Farmers Market a close behind. And the least favorite department was building and construction. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just for the record, it's Committeeman Stevenson and Committeewoman Moreski on community garden.
Oh,
You mentioned my name.
I did, I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
we want to make sure, you know.
Who's, just so I know, who's the liaison for building and construction?
That might be Gina and I, is it?
Well, you know, if it is,
Or it might be you and me.
that would explain it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Chief, while we still have you, how is Cooper 2 doing?
Well, Sir Matthew Cooper, no relation to Moni Cooper. He was in on Tuesday. Obviously, you swore him in. Thank you for that. He came back Thursday evening. He's currently training with Sergeant Polito. So he's been working, he worked 4 overnight shifts over the weekend and everything, you know, trying to get through all the post-training at this point. But what I heard when I saw Sergeant Polito this morning, everything's looking good.
Good. Good to know. So for those who don't know, we did sign the resolution authorizing extending the offer and hiring Officer Cooper to replace Modi Cooper. And I had the privilege of swearing him in that following day. And nice young man. His parents came out to observe the swearing in, and we, you know, it's always great to see this career start and talk about how police officers start with us and we see them go through their entire career and stay here in Bedminster, and wish him a safe and prosperous term as a Bedminster police officer. So thank you again. So, Chief, looks like you made a good selection there. With that, let's move on to discussion on introduced ordinances. We have none. We do have an ordinance to introduce tonight, which is ordinance number 2022-001. So, Robin, this is our first ordinance of the year?
That is correct, we haven't
All
had
right.
one since November.
So, ordinance 2022-001, this ordinance authorizes the funding of Bedminster Township's 80% share of the purchase of lighting tower upgrades for the Far Hills Bedminster Volunteer Fire Department. So I think we've all certainly had this explained to us by the fire chiefs, both Chief Draheim and Chief Grundyke, as well as President Ron Kennedy. So the ordinance will be scheduled for public hearing on March 21st at 7 p.m. And we'll have the public hearing, and certainly any questions. Do you know if we'll have any of the fire chiefs or former fire chiefs or current fire chiefs available for that public hearing? Okay. They don't have to. I think it's been explained to us, but since it's a public hearing, they may want to be there for that. May we have a motion to introduce ordinance number 2022-001?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye, and once again, public hearing, March 21st at 7 p.m. We have no public hearing for ordinances tonight. We have nothing on the consent agenda. And we have no resolutions for tonight. May we have a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye. Any items for new business? Okay, old business, COVID-19, we've covered the numbers. DOT improvements. Chief, you just want to follow up again with DOT for River Road, for the intersection to get the striping, and if there's any additional work they need to do over at the River Road jug handle? I'm sorry, first for Hills Drive and then for finish up at River Road. I think he's nodding his head, that's a yes.
Matter of fact, Mayor, after the last meeting, I sent an email to Saeed, and, you know, my bad, I never followed up. I never heard anything, so I'll reach out to him on the.
Great, thank you. Utilities. Committeeman Hickey, you want to start?
I can start. Thank you, Mayor. Two quick updates. First off, Altice, they have recently communicated with each one of the homeowners associations in the Hills regarding the fiber upgrade project and shared with them a draft agreement covering the proposed work. One of the things I have repeatedly stressed to Altice is that these boards have invested significantly in their roads, hardscaping, landscaping, and their buildings, so they want to understand how those assets will be impacted. Rightfully so, none of them will sign the agreement until they have a better understanding of the specific plans for those individual communities. So Altice in particular needs to get specific on when, where, and how they're going to dig, and communicate that back to each one of the neighborhoods. That will then enable each one of those boards to render a decision. I've discussed this with Altice as recently as last Friday, and they will work to get communication sessions set up and the neighborhood-specific information out there. So more to follow on that one. And then just a quick update on JCP&L and some good news. They announced last week that initiative to install smart meters throughout their service territory would begin in 2023. More than 1.1 million smart meters will be installed over a 36-month period. Approximately 1/3 will be installed each year, with most New Jersey customers receiving a smart meter by 2026. Not only does this automate meter reading, but more importantly, it enables the detection of outages in real time as opposed to waiting for the customer to call in an outage. I think what we were all surprised when we originally brought JCP&L in a few years ago was that there is no remote monitoring, there is no telemetry. They wait for the phone to ring, literally, in most cases. So this move to smart meters should significantly help improve both restoration estimates as well as repair and restoration times, particularly during storm-related events. So good news on that front.
Great. New Jersey American Water, maybe Committeeman Stevenson and Rodney, if you want to take that.
And they continue to work up on Ski Hill Drive. Work's going very well, much smoother than some of the other areas we've seen in town. They have different subcontractors doing a fine job, but they're going to be done with the main line momentarily, a couple days, right?
Thursday.
Thursday. And then they'll obviously have to come back and then do the individual hookups, but it's been proceeding very, very well up on my street.
Is everyone on Ski Hill, are they on public water or anyone on sewer? I'm sorry, on wells?
I think everybody's on public water.
Okay.
There's one house, it's a bit off the street, so maybe that's on well, but I think everybody's on public.
Okay, great. Thank you. Committeewoman Fernandez, any update on discussions with PSE&G?
Yes, I have been in touch with Tanya Banks from PSE&G regarding the gas main project on Deer Haven, Old Dutch, Old Stone House, Ski Hill, and
Berkshire?
Yeah, I think so. And she said that the gas main project has been broken down into 4 jobs. And the estimated cost will be calculated based on the homes participating. And the info has now been submitted to the Gas Technical Division for review and response, and the estimated response time is 28 days.
Okay, good. Any other utilities that we're missing? Seeing none. Doug, Pluckman Park?
Still working with Attorney Bilardo on that. We've got to get back to the property manager who's looking for a dialogue on their pilot, so.
Do you want to talk after the meeting? I know we've been trading phone calls.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Yeah,
I'm around.
I got somewhere to be tonight.
I don't want to interrupt your work, that's why I said, just
Yep,
call
not at
me.
all. Yep. So next meeting, we'll have some headway on that, Mayor.
Okay, good. Thank you. We do not have an executive session meeting tonight. We have no budget items to discuss. It'll be next week's fun. So let's go to Township Committee comments. Committeeman Stevenson.
We're still alive, so we got one more game. I think we're the last team standing, which is nice. But I just wanted to shoot a shout out to Neil. I think he's done a tremendous job with our basketball. It's usually our most robust sport in town, and it's so nice. You've got Saturdays down there where the people that are participating in the program make a day of it. I mean, they'll go down to the gym in the morning, stay, watch their friends play. They'll play a game, then they got their other friends playing in another game afterwards, and it's like a whole day thing. So it's been really neat to see everybody back in town and enjoying it. And for his first year on the job, Neil's been a rock star. It was phenomenal. We had a great experience, so hopefully it keeps going.
Great hire, for sure. Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
No comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Committeewoman Mareski.
I don't have anything tonight, Mayor.
Committeewoman
I
Fernandez.
have no comments tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, so quickly, Jake, I received an email from folks from Crossroads for Hope. They're doing their butterfly release on June 4th. And I think usually they take some photos and send it over to the Burnsville News. They were hoping this year to get some coverage. So just passing that news along, if whether Charlie or Deb want to make it out there, or you certainly want to make it out there, that's Crossroads for Hope, June 4th. And if you need any details, I can send that to you. It's a nice event. They bring in all these butterflies and they do a big butterfly release. It's a very nice event. And also the only other thing I want to mention is last week participated in Read Across America. 4th graders, they were awesome. Corby Swan picked out a book for me, and teachers made a sort of big deal about the mayor coming in, and after I read the book, I'm like, okay, you got the mayor. Anyone have any questions? Thinking like, no one's gonna raise their hand. Every single one raised their hand. I have 3 questions and a comment.
Did you limit them to 3 minutes each?
4th graders, no, I'm gonna let them go as long as they want. But it was just great. It was a really great event, and for anyone who hasn't done it, I strongly recommend participating in Read Across America. Officer Smith actually, he and I were leaving at the same time, so it was good to see Bedminster Police Department participating as well. So,
On that one, Mayor, let
Yep.
me just jump in. My wife, is on the Board of Ed. She went in to read as well, and the book that she had picked out to read was taken by another Board of Ed member earlier today, so she just grabbed one, and it turned out to be When Whales Die and their carcass falls to the bottom of the ocean, and all of the things in the bottom of the ocean that feed off of it, and she's going halfway through and like, how do I get out of this? But it went over well, so same thing. She said it was great. It was a good time to be there with the kids. Thanks
that's
for all
great.
for that.
That's great. That's it. So it is 7:32. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night and thank you.